I'm joined now by someone who was sworn in as an impeachment juror today, Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut. It was a pretty extraordinary scene. What was it like to be in that room?
I have to tell you, Chris, that moment hit me like a rock when I took the oath and then signed the book and saw all of my colleagues raise their right hand and the Chief Justice of the United States presiding over an impeachment trial. And what it reminded me, and I hope it reminded my colleagues across the aisle as well, that we have an obligation now to be impartial, but also to put country ahead of party. That's what we have to do. And to listen to the evidence. As much as I think it's overwhelmingly in favor of impeachment, I want those witnesses and documents that the president has blocked so that the American people get the full truth.
Are you willing yourself to be impartial? I mean, one of the things that's interesting about this, right, is that senators are political creatures, if you don't mind my saying. And you have this strange status now. You're essentially a juror, ostensibly, but it's still a political process. You're still a political creature. You're still members of political parties. Like, what is your own mental state? What are you trying to do to yourself, just speaking for yourself, to try to force yourself to actually be open and neutral here?
Let me try to put it as bluntly and honestly as I can. I am searching for all of the truth. I am willing to listen, although I have to be honest. I think that the smoking gun here is the president's own words. We need you to do us a favor, though.
Yes.
The Lev Parnas interview, plus the documents that corroborate what he told Rachel Maddow last night, are explosive. But Mick Mulvaney was there with the president, taking his orders. He ought to testify as to what was said. Blair and Duffy were the henchmen. They were executing the order. And John Bolton was also at the center of this scheme, but he was trying to talk the president out of doing it. I want to hear from them, and I want to see those documents, the 3 sets of documents, specific communications, emails, notes of conversation that maybe will exonerate the president. Maybe they have some exculpatory evidence that shows his innocence. I want to hear it. I have an obligation to listen. I'm willing to be impartial in the sense that I will carefully consider everything that the president lets us hear. But so far, he has blocked, gagged, stopped everything. What is he hiding? If it were, in fact, helpful to him, you would think he would allow it to be presented.
Is your sense, I mean, obviously, you know, you guys are all in the will of the Senate. The Senate doesn't do anything anymore except for confirm judges. So even just having everyone there doing something is novel, right? Would you agree with that?
Well, I have a right to remain silent on that one, don't I?
Well, I mean, I think it is wild because, you know, it's very rare that you get all 100 senators in the body. It's certainly rare that you're not allowed to talk, I mean, which is like basically a death sentence for a United States senator.
Well, here's the thing which will be little noted today. We actually passed a trade act, which is somewhat historic also because for years the federal government has been trying to rationalize its trade and improve its trade relationship. But you're absolutely right. This job has been extraordinarily frustrating to me because we do a lot less than we should.
In terms of that conversations that are happening on the floor and around the floor, I wondered as I was watching it today whether, like, the new information that we're getting, the Parnas interview, which, you know, sort of blew up last night, and there's an interview in the New York Times and with other outlets today, does that register?
Very much so.
I mean, you guys know that's happening.
Not only do we know what's happening, but we see it, we hear it, and the American people deserve to see and hear all of the testimony that would come from Mulvaney, Blair, Duffy, and Bolton, as well as those documents, because they would corroborate not only the words of the president, but also Lev Parnas saying, as he put it very dramatically, he did nothing without the direction of Rudy Giuliani, who said he was acting at the behest of the president, and also was taking phone calls while he was with Parnas from the president, who was overheard on those phone calls, his words, the president's words. So, yes, it registers with us. It has a powerful impact, but even more so if it were presented at trial. Why is the president hiding these witnesses and documents?
All right, Senator Richard Blumenthal, thank you so much for making the time. Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.